Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, whichever suits you best. So I've been getting some reports that having the mod hidden has been causing some people's games to crash. I don't know if that's actually the reason why their games are crashing or not. There's no way for me to know. However, I do want to get this update done so that we can get the mod back online as soon as possible. So what I'm going to do today here is I'm going to hurry up and finish the getting some of the details in that done here on this cockpit, and it's not going to be done. I'm just going to get it looking good enough that I feel like I could really get the mod back out, and then I'll continue to work on improving the model until until my next update, basically. And then the next update it'll be improved some, and so on and so forth. Or at least that's kind of my thought process here, is just do what I can to get it out as quick as possible so that we can get everybody back up to speed. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to work here. So I apologize if I start to get a little bit quiet or anything here. This is I'm just kind of going to be trying to get as much done as possible in as quick a time as possible. Okay, that's a little bit better. You know what? Let's go ahead and grab. I kind of like that curve. Let's pull that whole thing back just so. That'll work. Widen that guy. Yeah, select all. Yeah, that looks better. Now I do want to have a recessed area down here. The whole reason for the recessed area down here and why I want it is because I eventually want to put a weapon attachment point down here, and I kind of want to have it look like it's that's what it's there for, is for a weapon. So we're going to go ahead and actually, you know what, I probably don't need to do, yep, I think maybe I can just do this. Nope, that's not going to work. Now we can do this. That still kind of goes, well, that's okay, that's easy enough to fix. You know what, I want a little bit farther forward. Yep, basically about right here, I think is where I want it. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Yeah. Actually, let's undo that. Let's bring this in a little bit more. And I'll probably make that roughly square. Roughly square anyway. Look at that. That is angled much more sharply than I expected it to be. So let's get it to be about right there. Let's lift that side up just a little bit so that it looks about level. Yeah, that'll work. Now, let's do this. That's not exactly what I was expecting. Can I do just one corner? Nope, can't do that. Alright, well then we'll do... Nope, don't want that either. You know what I need to do? Let's select all. X, limited dissolve. Yeah, that'll work. That will work. There you go. That's more like it. Still got all my lines there, so now let's work on getting some detail here in the bottom here. How do I want to do this? You know what? I think we're going to do one wing at a time. Oh, that's way too big. There. Don't need to go that high up there. Come on, get me about level. There you go. Yeah, okay, that'll work. And we're gonna do we'll include you. Yep. Yeah, sorry for being quiet here, guys. I'm just thinking about how I want this to look. You know what? That limited dissolve really screwed some things up here. I'm gonna have to restart this. Darn. Okay, well, doesn't matter. Rather than going through and just control Zing a million times, we'll just do this. There. Because a lot of that is pretty easy to redo. Oops, I did that change on the wrong side. My bad. Yeah, okay, that's better. Alright, yeah, that's not too shabby. Oh, actually, I just realized I've already got about the right shape for what I want. That'll work. Don't even need to do a limited dissolve. Yeah, it's going to be a little too close to be. There you go. Oh, you know what? I do think I know how I can fix this. And without having to do a limited dissolve. Wait, oh, that was the wrong thing. I want bevel. There, yeah, that's more like it. Alright, that'll work. Yeah. Alright, I like that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do some lines. And you know what? Now we've got better lines that we can do too anyway. So, instead of just doing the wing, I kind of like the winged lines. I still need to do some lines up here too, so you know what? Let's finish these up first. Actually, yeah, this one we're going to wrap around. We're going to wrap around that part too. Yep, we're going to try that. Scale down just a little bit. And then inset. And then scale up just a little bit. Ooh. Right, like about there. Yeah. Give me those extra lines. Ooh, that's not quite right. Go up a little bit more. A little bit less. A little bit more until we get it right. There. Perfect. Alright. Now that is right in line. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go to object mode. Yeah, adds the extra crease up there like that. Wrapping around this guy. Yeah, that's not too shabby. Alright. And now for this back part, actually we're going to start here. Going to go around the window. We aren't going to add anything into the window. see, we start right there. Okay. Scale just a little bit down. And then scale back up. Yeah. That's perfect. So there is another way to do like lines in your model besides doing insets like I've been doing, which I'm not going to show on this model right now, but I will in a future video. Because sometimes you don't actually want to do the inset. Sometimes you just want a line. And it's possible to do by drawing at least 3 lines, clicking that center line like parallel to each other, very close together, and then just taking the center line and putting it like either into the model or out of the model to give you like a triangular cut into your model. The way inset works and the way I've been doing it is it puts kind of a squared off line into your, like a squared off groove here. I like doing insets because it's easier to work with for some things, but other things, a triangular cut into your model is actually better. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, that there are other ways of doing some of these things that you might find more, you might find better, you know, for you and your models. But this is just what I'm doing for my model. But anyways, let's go ahead and get back to this. You know what? So I've got that guy. Now, let's go ahead and come up. Yep, like that. Inset. That's too far, I can tell. Still too far. Oh, I see what I did there. Never mind. I did a couple of things wrong there. Oh, there. Perfect. There you go. Now we've got our hard cut in there. That should be about right. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Then do I want to take it into that or actually wrap around it? I think I want to wrap around it. Kind of frame a little bit. Oops. Yeah, that'll work. Not that one. Actually, I did that. That's fine. This is the side that I want to do this on though. Because that is a little, I think we will just go in this way a little bit. Yeah, select all, mesh, symmetricize. Let's go ahead and take a look here in object mode. See what these lines look like. Yeah, that's not too bad. I think I might do a couple of smaller boxes up here. Maybe even over here. I do like that deep cut there though, that looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and, yeah, you know what? It's exactly what I want to do. Let's do this. We're going to do a fairly deep inset. Like that. Yeah, I kind of want to do it here too. Not too deep, but alright. Go ahead and go to object mode. Yeah, that's looking better. Still, I'd like to add some more noise on the bottom. It just feels too, I don't know, too plain. I could probably, nah, not that one. Yeah, let's try this. Oh, nope, don't want that. Not yet, anyway. Maybe not that one. Yeah, maybe just that. There you go. And I'll select all, mesh, symmetricize. Let's go to object mode and see. Oh yeah, that looks better. Got a big arrow pointing forward. Yeah, I like that. That's not too bad. Alright. Now let's go back to edit mode. We were going to move this door up towards the middle. You know what? Let's do this the right way. Let's import a Deimos 1x1. Object mode, make sure that we're clicked on the Deimos and move. So that would be 0, 0 height when I first spawn this guy in. So we probably want the door to be somewhat even with this. Actually, you know what? No, I think I want the door to be a little bit higher than that point. So let's raise this guy up. We'll try to make sure that my door cutout is about the same size as the Deimos cutout. If I could see the Deimos cutout. Oh, there's the problem. I merged into my model a little bit. Maybe. I still don't see the... Huh. That's weird. Why are you... Are you just completely invisible from... I don't really understand why that's... Oops. Let's undo that. Let's go back to the Deimos. No, it... Oh, now I can see it. Now I can see the line. Of course I can. Let's just get you close, but not merged in. That way I can still see what I'm doing. Alright, let's go back to my model. Click edit. So there's my doorway highlighted. Let's move that up. So it needs to be a little bit bigger. The door cutout does. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to scale. That'll work. Then we're going to go up here. Move that up. The reason we want my door cutout to be a little bit bigger is I already have a pre-made kind of circular door hole thing that I will add to the NIF. That will give it the proper cutout shape. This is just so that there will be a visible walk-through point. So now we can go ahead and get rid of that Deimos. We don't need you. Delete hierarchy. There you are. Yeah, that's about right. So now we're just going to literally delete. Should I take it a little bit higher? No, I think that's probably about where I want it. Actually, no, I want the floor level to probably be about right here. Let's move this down a little bit. We got the sizing right. this is going to probably be about the floor level, so this needs to be just a hair above that floor. You know what? The original spot was probably about right for that Deimos. Because if that's head height, trying to think of exactly where the floors, because I want the floor to be basically about this height. That way the seat and your head position will be good. So might actually need to go up a little bit. You know what? We can adjust the position later. It doesn't matter. Let's just delete that. Delete faces. So now you can see the inside of the model, which of course is all inverted from what you really want for like the windscreen and that. That's fine though, because I want this as just an exterior model. So the way I tend to put NIFs together is I make the full model first, and I will export this as a geometry with collision. And then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to reopen it up, and I will save after like remove it. Like I'll remove all of the window, and then I'll save it as that's just the body of the cockpit. I'll probably actually remove more than the window. I'll probably remove the window plus these vents back here, and then save that as the body of the cockpit. And then I'll reload the original before I deleted all that stuff, and I'll erase, you know, all of everything else, but leave the vents. And then I'll save that as a separate geometry. And the reason for that is because I'm terrible at texturing. So what I like to do is I like to use flat material files for my texturing at the end of the day. And I just apply them in NIFscope. For one, it makes it easier to do like colorizing when it comes to like the ship builder. By having flat material files that can be added to the colorizer so that when you change your ship's color, it changes everything. But for two, it also just makes it easier because I don't have to worry as much about my texturing capabilities, because it's just going to be a matte color. It's going to be like the frame will be all like a steel metal color, and the glass will all just be a specific glass color. So yeah, when I cut out the frame, I'll also cut out like these individual glass pieces. But then, like I said, I'll reload the original before I cut any of that stuff out. And I'll cut out like everything but the glass. And I'll just have the glass pieces. And then I'll save that as this cockpit plus glass or whatever. And I'll end up with, 8, 9, 10 different geometries to make up the outer shell. And then I can take each one of those separate geometries and make them their own material file color. And the same thing with like the interior. A lot of times it'll be broken up. Like you'll have your frame, you'll have your glass, you'll have your inner body. So like right now, let's first of all double check, make sure face orientation is correct. Yep, this is all out. And you'll see that right now, because of the way the model is made, I'd be able to see the exterior shell, but I would not be able to see anything if I went inside. Like if I went inside, all I would see is space outside. I mean, you'll see a little bit of a blue clip there. That's just a clipping of a mesh. It's not going to be a big deal when I do my invert. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this as our exterior shell. File, save as, Nemesis ext. Save as. And then if I want my interior, to save my interior the full shell, which will have the collision, I'm just going to select all, mesh, normals, flip. So now you'll see that I can see everything on the interior. Now, this is not going to be my interior. I'm going to build up a floor. I'll have to add stuff in here to make a level floor across, and probably level out some of the roof. Actually, you know what? No, this one's the one with the window. So I'll be doing some inverting on some of these lines for the window frame. I'll kind of show you what I mean here. Oh, maybe I'll show you what I mean. So you can see where the window, how the windows all stick down and the frame actually is sticking up and out. Well, that's normal, but all I have to do is take this flat point of the frame, and we will click it, and I do that all the way along until I have highlighted everything from the frame around. Let's make sure that I got it all. Nope, don't want to do that. Control Z. I want to get all of this little piece here though. Oops. There you go. I think that's gonna be all of it. Alright, and then I'm just literally gonna drag it up so that now we've got an interior frame around that glass. So that when you look up inside from the interior, it will look like the glass is framed and that the frame is boxing around the glass from both directions. And it's going to be the same idea with this window frame. Oops. No, not that one. Ah. It is a little bit of tedious work, but at the end of the day, it's going to make it look proper, like it's a wraparound frame all the way around your glass. Now, could you manually just build a second layer of frame around here? Sure you could. Now, actually, I don't really need to do this right now until I actually cut out my window. There's really no reason to reverse this frame. I'm just kind of showing you like how you can do it. So like I don't have the whole frame hooked up or connected yet, but like if I were to lower this, now all of a sudden I've got an inverted frame on the inside to go around everything. Well, around what I had pulled up. But in reality, I would actually need to also scale it a little bit inward, left and right, because clearly it's still too thick. It's still sticking outside, and we want it to actually come in. So that's kind of how you do that. But I'm not going to waste my time with that right now. Not here on video, because like I said, I will wait to do the window frame and actually even these parts when I do the windows. For right now, we're really just worrying about saving the basic shape for collision purposes. So now when I do the floor will actually be a separate piece. We're going to go ahead and file save as. Actually, you know what? Just because I don't know if I've screwed up anything, let's just open, don't save. We're going to open the ext, select all, mesh, normals flip, then file, save as. We'll do interior, or just int if you prefer. So that'll be my interior basic model for collision, and then I'm also going to export this interior as an FBX. And that way, when I go to build my floor, I'll start a new general. Yeah, we can save it, it doesn't matter. So I'll start a new general, so I start off with this block. And then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go to edit so that I'm actually editing it. We're going to file, import our FBX that we exported. So now I've got the basic shape of the interior. And then I'm going to take this and we are going to start working on it. We're going to go ahead and, first of all, let's take you. We want kind of a flat box here as our floor. That's going to be kind of our starting point. Now I'm planning on doing grading, like roughly about maybe between, probably about the width of the doorway. And it's going to go down to probably just before I'll have like my little side stations for the cockpit. So go ahead and hit select all. I went too far back. I want to make sure that I stay on the interior for my floor. I want it to be just like that. So there you go. So now I've got my floor there. This is obviously not filling up this whole shape, but it's just a matter of now of scaling this, shaping it to fit my interior shape. Actually, I want that to go up a little bit. But this will also give me an idea if my door is in the right spot. So we're going to go ahead and drag this guy out. We're going to see where does he end up on the other end. Oh, that is not what I wanted. I want the green arrow. Did I put my door in a good spot? We will find out. And I would say I need my door a little bit lower, because right now this floor is going to run right into the bottom of that window frame, and I don't want it to be there. I want it to be just below the window frame. So no big deal. We know now that that door needs to be lowered. So kind of gives you an idea of how to do that stuff. But that's going to be it for right now. I'm going to keep working on this model. I'm going to try and get most of it wrapped up as quick as possible so that we can get my mod back out there for everybody who's been having issues since I've hidden it. I'm so sorry, guys. It was never my intention to cause all these headaches from one of my mistakes. But we will get it resolved. I promise you I will have it fixed, and once I have it fixed, we're just going to try and do better going forward, making sure that I don't make those same silly mistakes. But anyways, for now, that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye for now.